resources we have in our country is enough to take care of everybody in that country. We should not have a single poor person in Sierra Leone. But unfortunately, we are not given the free will to make decisions on our own mineral resources. There's always Big Brother who decides. And when you fight and say, no, we are not going to do this, they use the system to stop you. It's either they set you up with the opposition and they'll be supporting the opposition against you from the back, or they cause unnecessary chaos in your country so that you are not able to even govern your own people. They will do things to make you not to be functionable. And of course, any country that don't have peace cannot develop. You have to have peace before you talk about development. I'll give you a simple example about Sierra Leone. Every mining company that is in Sierra Leone today is owned by a foreigner. Every mining company. If it's not the Chinese, it's the American, it's the British. Our electricity, Bumuna, is run by the British, and we still don't have light. We're looking for light, electricity. If you don't have electricity, how can you talk about education? How can you talk about health facility? How can you talk about improving the infrastructure of your country? We don't have electricity. Now, do we actually even have proper water, pipe-borne water, so that our kids will not be sick? We don't have those facilities. Why? With all the minerals we have, there is a cap you put. Before my husband became the president of Sierra Leone was benefiting, they said, what's the word? 0.000.1%. What is that?
I wish everybody in Africa can think like this, can analyze politics this way, so they can understand how the system works. But I just want to say the problem of Africa is us. Why? Because the colonialists don't come by themselves to say we are in charge, we want to take this, we want to be in control. But instead, they use Africans. They use the very same Africans in the name of politics. That is why you should not trust anyone who calls himself a politician. Even if that particular person is your friend, that particular person is your cousin. Don't trust anyone. But instead, you have to look at their policies and you have to know who is funding these people. Because in Africa, or in most of the African countries, new political parties are formed each and every day. Why? Just to bring confusion, just to keep you busy. Because while you are busy, then they have enough time to focus on the minerals so that they can steal your minerals. So again, if you are a politician, you also need to be careful, especially I'm talking to the politicians who care about people. You need to be careful because these people will set you up. They'll invite you in their own ceremonies or their events. They'll book hotels for you. In other words, they'll do certain things for you. But then guess what? After 2 years or after a year, then there's a scandal about you. Now you are associated with a scandal of abuse. You are accused of abusing someone sexually or otherwise. Then this information will get to media, social media. Then it will explode. In other words, it will tarnish your image and everybody will believe it. And even people who are behind you will start believing everything about you. They'll start believing that you are corrupt. They'll start believing that you are an abuser. They'll start believing all those stories. So that is why if you are for your people, you need to be very careful. You need to check your steps very well, where you go, people you visit, people you talk to, people you communicate with, people you call, and all those things, because they might set you up. And that is why right now we have many politicians in Africa who are being accused. They're accused of 1, 2, 3. It's all about confusion in most cases. So they will use social media content creators. They will use mainstream media journalists and everybody else, because we want content. Will spread this information to the point whereby people who are behind you will start withdrawing their support. This is the system. Why? Because you cannot talk about nationalization. You cannot talk about all those things. Why? Because they want those minerals.
Basically, a company can take as much as $100 million out of the country in terms of minerals, and then they can just give the country $10,000.
Just imagine. This is embarrassing. Just imagine. They take 100 million US dollars and they only give you $10,000 so that you can take care of. This is embarrassing. This is a joke. But who is doing all these things? African people. Even that $10,000 will be eaten by someone in these offices. This is completely embarrassing.
Now, what will $10,000 do for our health system? What is $10,000 do for our educational system? You cannot be coming to our country and take everything that will make us develop, and then you still treat us as inferior people, as if we don't know what we're doing. I think that is wrong. And these are the things I believe that are stopping Africa from progressing. We don't have a say. The sense about us celebrating independence, I don't know why we celebrate independence, because we are not free.
Yeah, we are not free at all. We are not free. The only thing that they want us to do is to celebrate all these days. The Freedom Day, Independence Day, and all these different kinds of days. And they will prepare a speech for the president so that the president can keep on lying to the people. So every time when someone tells you that you are free, there are certain questions that you need to ask that particular individual. Most people are programmed. Even people who studied economics, they will always tell you that if we do 1, 2, 3, then it means the economy is going to collapse, because this is how they were trained. This is how they have been trained to understand that without Western countries, Africa cannot exist. Africa cannot function in a right way. But without understanding that Africa is the richest continent in the world, without Africa, those countries cannot do anything at all. But we have people who call themselves economists who will always keep on lying and lie to people. Why? Because just to convince you, just to program you that you are free. So if you want to disturb this freedom that you have right now, the fake one, then the economy will collapse. The economy will collapse. That is why we have many people on social media. I'm talking about Africans. They are like, no, we have to allow France here. We have to allow British here. We have to allow these countries here, because without these countries, we cannot do anything. The economy is going to collapse. Just imagine, Africa has that capability of being independent because of these mineral resources, but they are using us because we are blind.
That is my own take. I'm not speaking also on behalf of the government of Sierra Leone, nor am I speaking on behalf of His Excellency the President. I am speaking as Fatima, as a citizen of a country who believes that things need to change. In Africa, you should not have a leader that is assertive, a leader that knows what his people want, a leader that wants to change what is happening. The moment you have that, it's everyone's target. And then they find reason to slow you down, they find reason to stop you, and they use that system of corruption. They use corrupt people, they use negative people, they use unpatriotic citizens to come after a government who is doing what is right for a system. I think we need to address those issues. Unfortunately, I don't know I'm very good at name calling, but at the moment, I don't know who I should be screaming at.
I'm going to say it right here. Africans should be in charge of Africa.
I believe that also that Africans' issue can only be enhanced when Africans decide to do that. They should not allow another person to give them a prescription of how Africa should look like or what we need in our Africa, because we know what we need in our Africa. No one will know that better than us. And I think the UN should see Africa as partners. And the United Nations, definitely, you cannot have 7 countries vetoing everything. When it comes to Africa issue, it is those 7 countries who are the countries that are actually exploiting Africa. They're the ones who have the veto power to make decision on anything that has to do with Africa. So for me, I think that is wrong. And that is one thing the president of Sierra Leone has campaigned for. And this year, Sierra Leone is now a non-permanent member at the United Nations. But yet still, we don't have a veto power.
You know, they don't want leaders like Ibrahim Traore. Ibrahim Traore has brought stability in Burkina Faso, but they don't want leaders like him. That is why he won't get something like a Nobel Peace Prize. He won't get a reward. He won't get anything, even from other African leaders. They call him a dictator. And now they are spreading all these rumors on social media and via mainstream media that Africa or Burkina Faso is going to collapse in 6 months or in a year because of how Ibrahim Traore is making decisions currently. In other words, they are spreading those rumors in order to put fear amongst Africans. And right now, there are other Africans who are like, close our borders because we don't want people from Burkina Faso to come to our countries because their country is going to collapse because Ibrahim Traore doesn't know what he's doing. We have people, our people, who are talking like that. Why? Because the programming is too much. Even people with PhDs, programming is too much. Let me tell you, Ibrahim Traore knows very well what he's doing.
What we offer to the world, Europe does not have it. What Africa gives to the world, Europe don't have it, America don't have it, Asia don't have it. Because we are not mining in China, we are not doing any mining in America or mining in Europe. But they're doing it in every part of Africa. Not just Sierra Leone, go to Democratic Republic of Congo, go to Botswana, go to Angola, go everywhere there is mineral resources. It is the West and the Chinese who are there. When you come to Africa, ask me what is it that I want. If you ask me what food do you want to eat, I'll tell you I want to eat rice. But then if you come to Africa and bring me spaghetti and said, I want you to eat spaghetti, that you're imposing on me.
Oh my goodness. You know, what is happening here is that these people, they are everywhere. They are all over Africa. But they are using Africans in order to get what they want. And the Africans that they are using, they bribe them maybe with properties, with cars, and all those things. They use us. The problem of Africa is us. I would appreciate if you can just smash that subscribe button, smash that like button, smash that share button like never before.